Welcome to another SMARTBoard video with me, Kieran, and today we're going to be going through different ways to use a SMARTBoard. So you might be thinking, something looks different about this board. Now, I got rid of my 500 series board because it was just not functional at all. It did not work at all. So I decided to get an upgrade. Now it's not a new one. This is a 600 series. I absolutely love it. It does the job, always works, not a problem with it. It's so easy to use. It's a joy to use. So let's get started. So what we need to do, so you need to make sure your projector is all connected up with VGA or HDMI or whatever. Plug that into your PC, like you would normally do with your teaching. And most teachers will look at the board, either go, I'm actually I don't really know how to use it, or I'm a bit nervous, a bit anxious about using it because you don't know how to embed it into the learning, into the teaching. How can I find ways to use the board and do what you would normally do? So I'm going to basically show you alternatives to kind of get you in the direction of using an interactive whiteboard. So let's get started. So get your remote, turn on the projector. So let that warm up. So if you've never used a SMARTBoard before, or you don't remember how to use it, I will be going through how to set it up and make sure we can get to where we want to be. Excuse me. So let the projector boot up. Right, so here's the desktop, it's booted up. If you don't see, hopefully you do see the image, but if you don't, you'll need to do the FN function key, F4, I think, F4, F3, well, it depends what computer you have. So I've got the desktop open, it's my desktop. So right, the interactive whiteboard, basically it's like a touchscreen tablet sort of thing. It's a big screen, touchscreen tablet sort of thing that'll have your computer on it. Basically, that's basically what it is. You plug in a cable, you put it into the computer, the green light goes on or flashes or whatever, all the lights will go, and it will just basically, it's just basically a touchscreen computer well, you basically you connect it to your PC and they both work together. So instead of you at the computer all the time, you can stay up at the front of the class and try and do everything here. I mean, there are things that you won't be able to do on a board. You might need to go backwards and forwards, but it's easy to present, and the students hopefully will get engaged with the learning and find it interesting. So right, so if you want to know, I'm going to go through everything. So there are 4 pens on the pen tray. Sometimes some boards will have 2, depending, or I don't know, it depends. This board has 4 pens, a rubber or an eraser, and then I'll have 3 buttons. So it'll have a left click, a right click, a keyboard, on-screen keyboard, a right click button, and then I'll have an exclamation mark. Now the exclamation mark is just the help section. So if you have one, you can push that and it will give you help with certain things. what you need to do. So like making sure it's all aligned, or help center, technical support, all that lot. So, well, if you've plugged it in, there's the light on the side is very important, because the solid green light means everything is working. So the board is detected, everything works, you're good to go. If it's a blinking light, that means that it's getting power, but some features, it tends to happen when maybe your computer's gone to sleep and it hasn't connected properly, or if you haven't got any software installed on the computer, it will do the flashing green light. So basically what will happen is the pen tray will stop working, and you can touch the board, but you just can't write with it. That's basically it. If you don't have the software and it does do the flashing lights, you won't be able to calibrate it or anything. So if you've moved the board and you won't be able to calibrate it. So if it's out of line, you won't be able to do it. So yeah, it's best to use the software, because you can set it up properly. So right, desktop. First thing you'll do, if you've got everything working and it's stopped blinking and it's a solid green light, you need to calibrate the board. So calibrating the board is really important to make sure that everything is lined up properly. Make sure your fingers are lined up properly and your pens are writing where you want to write. So to do this, you use two fingers. Yeah, there's all sorts of different ways of doing it, but the easiest way to calibrate a board, 600 series, it depends. The newer boards will just have one little button, which will have like a little target. You'll just have one button, you push that once, the screen comes up. Mine has two buttons. So in the center it'll have a keyboard and a right click mouse button. You push those two together at the same time once. Then what will happen is you'll have a screen that's grey and it'll say press center of target to release. There's different ways you can do this. The way I do it is I pick up a pen. These are plastic, there's no ink in them, they are just solid plastic. So I pick up the pen, and what I do is I drag the pen, sorry about that, my dog's barking, you drag it to the centre of the target. So the important thing is making sure it's in the centre, because what it will do is it will remember the last place you've let go. So it remembers. So if you drag it, and if we do this one, it's not about where you started, it's about where you let go. It saves. If you've messed up this one, for example, and you do it there, don't worry, because on the pen tray, you have the two buttons, the mouse and the keyboard. If you just push the keyboard button once, it goes back to the last target. So you can use your finger if you want to. You can just touch and let go. I use the pen because it's easier for me, because I can't really reach the top ones. So it goes back to the desktop. You put your pen back down. So it goes back to the desktop. So what else do you do? So congratulations, you've set up the board, you've calibrated it. So now, what sort of things can you do with it? So I'm going to go over it. Smart Notebook. I'm going to go over a piece of software called Smart Notebook, which teachers that use SMARTBoards a lot love it. It's the best piece of software for the board. It's designed for the board. It's designed to make it learning easy, fun, engaging. So Smart Notebook. So you might have noticed it. It might be installed on your PC. If not, you'd need to go to the Start menu, go All Apps or whatever version of Windows you have, and you find the Smart Technologies. So Smart Technologies. Scroll down, and you'll have Notebook. But mine's already on the desktop. Some teachers might have it and might have recognised it. So this is Smart Notebook. It's like a white notebook with a blue border around it. So it'll just say Smart Notebook. It depends. You might have an older version of Smart Notebook, like 11.4, 10. It depends. They're near enough look the same. So if we put that back, because I don't like them there. So if we open Notebook, it'll load up. So I've got two versions on this. So I'm just going to go over just this one. So it depends what version you have. I have Notebook 23 and 20. I have the newer version of it. So I'm just going to click at New. Right, so you'll open up a Smart Notebook. You'll see the bar at the top. Actually, I'm going to use the old one, the Notebook 22, because it looks a bit different, that one. I'm going to use Notebook 22. It works the same, but I prefer this version. So Notebook 22, it's Notebook, right? So basically, this runs like PowerPoint. So it works near enough as PowerPoint. So this program allows you to use this board as a whiteboard. You can do presentations on it. You can do little activities to get your students involved, engaged. So we're just going to go over a few different tools. So you open up Notebook. Some people might have an introduction to, like, oh, welcome to Notebook 11. This is the new version. If you want to look through that, you can do. It will help. So it'll teach you how to use Notebook. All the different tools and stuff to get you started. Mine is already, I've been using Notebook for many years now. So mine will just show up as a blank one. So, welcome to Notebook. Okay, so what can you do? So let's get just familiar with how the features of the board first. So 4 pens. So if you're on any program, you can use the pens. So you can use any page, website, apps, anything. You can use the pens and the rubber. But we'll go over Notebook. So you want to use a whiteboard, for instance. If you want to just write on a whiteboard sort of thing. So this is what's good about it. So if we go full screen, you've got a full-size screen of a white. It's basically a whiteboard, right? Full-size whiteboard screen. So what can you do? So if you're writing or drawing, so basically, depending what version of ink, for me, I pick up the pen, a little circle comes out just saying that I'm using a pen. Also, there's different lights on the pen tray, there's sensors in the pen tray, there's no technology in the pens. They're plastic, solid, and there's nothing in them. Some smart boards, the newer ones, will have a bit of technology in them. Mine, well, they might do, but mine are just plastic. So the technology is in the board and the pen tray. So there's a sensor on each colour, and there's a light on them. So to check if it's working and the pen's been, it knows that the pen's working, is the light will pop on, and when you put the pen back down, the light will go off. So I'm going to pick up the pen. What can you do? So if you want to write some things like, I don't know, English homework, right? Put that down, it goes away. So I've written English homework on it. So if you want to write, you can write with other pens as well. So due 15th of June, and then you can do that. Right? So it works exactly like a normal whiteboard, but there's a plus. There's a load of features that a regular whiteboard can't do. You can't run out of ink. That's a good one. You can't run out of ink. You can have as much space as you want. And the good thing is, you can, look, you can do this. You can move it about. You can resize it. You can rotate it. If we do this section, can't remember how to do it. We've rubbed out this section. And we just have this. If people can't understand your handwriting and can't read it, if students can't figure out what that says, which is understandable sometimes, click the arrow at the top, recognise, it turns it into text. So if the students can't see the ink, or don't understand what it says, they can't see it from a certain place, certain distance, you can turn it into text. So that's a cool feature that a regular whiteboard can't do. So you can resize this as well, make it tiny. You can make it massive to whatever size you want. You can, if you really want to, you can bounce it. But I don't see why you would, but it's cool little tricks up your sleeve if you want to trick it. If you don't want to move it, and you act like with a normal whiteboard, and you accidentally smudge it or make a mess of it, or you make it, basically you make a mess of it, you can lock it into place. So you cannot do anything with it. It's locked. If you want to unlock it, you go to this little button at the top where the arrow would normally be, and you can unlock it. There's other features that you can do with the lock. If you lock it, you can lock in place, allow vertical move, horizontal move, allow move, and allow move and rotate. Some of these will stop you from doing certain things. So I'm just going to unlock so I can move about and mess around things. So you can link things to tools. So a pen tool, an eraser tool, or a section. I don't really use any of that. You can add a sound to it if you really want to. So it comes with different sounds. Oh, if you have sounds on your computer, you can use it. So yeah, you can add sounds to them. The thing is with doing text is the only thing you can't do with it, you can't rub out text. It's not really doing anything. So that's the downside to it. If you want to, you click on it, arrow, and click delete. If you want to go back to that, you can click the undo button on our full screen. So there's different activities that you can do. We'll give some different tools out. So they're the basics. So if you want to start writing or doing stuff with the board, that's a very easy way. Just pick up a pen, use rubber, and rub it all out. Alright? So that's a good start. The good thing about Notebook is you can have as many pages as you want. That's another thing. These aren't called slides. Like in PowerPoint, they're called slides. In Notebook, they're called pages. They work the same, near enough. So, right. Let me think what you can do. So, you've got things you don't. So if you've got like put that back. I'm just putting random things on there. So if there's certain things that your students, you don't want your students to see. So if you're doing like a question and then an answer, if you go to the top, you can see there's like a little. It's like a button. It's right next door to the X, the red X. That's the delete button. On the right, there's a button that looks like a shade, like a screen shade. It's called a screen shade. But it looks like a projector screen sort of thing. So if you push that button, it has like 4 little dots, and then it covers it all. So basically, what you can use this for is if you've got like a question you just want the students to just see. So if you do this, you can drag it down and you can just show that. So for instance, where's the king in the UK? Where are they? Where is he? So if you do that, and then you get your students to, have a discussion, and then if they've got the answer or they're thinking, oh, we think it's this or this or whatever. So you've worked it out, then you can go over to here and go and show them the answer. You can do it at different angles as well, at different sides. Do all that. If you want to get out of it, you can push that button, the X on the right, and it gets rid of it. So that's a couple of techniques you can use to kind of get you started. So if we just get rid of this, and you've got a load of writing all over your screen, you've got it all over, you've got bubbles and things like that, and blah, 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 right? And you've got so much of it, right? There's a way of doing this. So instead of doing it all individually and all that line, it takes a while and then your arm gets tired. Just pick up the eraser rubber, and you see you've got all this ink. You can do a circle around it and bop it in the middle, and it'll all go away. If you do a big circle around all the ink and bop it in the middle, it all goes away. Saves time, effort, and all that lot. With a normal whiteboard, it'll take you ages, and then you're spraying it all and makes a mess, and it smudges and goes all, it's horrible. That, you just do a big circle, white again, blank. So that's another tool. So you've learned all that. So what else can you do in Notebook? So what you can do is you can add shapes. There's a shape box. There's different shapes at the top. There's ones that are shaded, ones that aren't. So what we can do is we can place them into the notebook. You've got different shapes. All these different shapes. And if we go back to the arrow, make sure you go back to the arrow because you'll be doing more shapes. And then you can drag them around the screen. You can move them about. Just click on them, make sure you click on them. So you've got your shapes. The good thing about this technique is, we used to do back in primary when I was younger, if you've got like students' names, right? And you've got them in a list, right? And you can say who's been in. So right, if you've got, for instance, a big box, big box, let's get rid of all these shapes. We used to use semicircles. That's what we used to do, semicircles. But I'm going to give you an idea when I was at school. But yeah, if you have like a register, right? You got a box, right? And you got students' names down, right? So let's say, remember, you can do majority of stuff on the board. So if you've got a keyboard, it brings up an on-screen keyboard, so you don't have to get to your desk. So, right, so attending, right? You've got students attending. Let me get back up. Actually, we'll just put attendance. I'm dyslexic, by the way, which doesn't help. That looks wrong, but we'll see. Let me have a look. I'm dyslexic, it doesn't help. So, if you struggle with a word, I'm sure, check spelling. There we go. If you can't spell a certain word, you've got to check spelling. No. So it checks the spelling. Right. So you've got, this is the side of who's here. So if you've got random names, we'll just say, I don't know, Josh. Alright. Alright, you got that, you got him. Right, you got another one. Sam. I don't know. Claire. Eleanor. So, for instance, right? Oh, we'll have one more. So, I don't know. Oops. Easy. Right, go back to the arrow. Make sure you go back to the arrow when you're doing text and stuff. So the attendance, that's people, people who are in, and so the ones that are outside are the ones that aren't in. So say who's in. Alright, Josh might be in. We'll move him there. Sam's in. Maisie's in. Eleanor's in. But Claire isn't. So if you do that at the beginning of the day, it's good for primary school students. It'll be good. It's good for like reception kids and stuff, and other maybe year 1, year 2. Just a little activity in the morning where they'll walk in to school and they'll drag their name into the box, and in the box, and teachers will know that they're in. And whoever's on the who hasn't done this are not in. So yes, so they can do that in the beginning of the day. The teachers can save it on the computers, and then you can write a date on the top if you want to, of when what day this was. So they can write on the register and and do that way. So it's just a little activity for like students that can they can get a bit involved. So that's a good one. So get rid of that. If you want to highlight everything, there is an X at the top, but there's an easier way for me because of my height. So if we click on one of these and click delete, it deletes it all for you. So yeah, that's one of them. So you've got fill tools as well if you want to use fill. The fill, so if you do normal shape, there's loads of different shapes. Really, there's loads. So if you finish, you can move them about. And then what you can do is, if you see there's a little can or tin of paint at the top, you would find in probably other different programs that are a little bit similar. If you click on it, it'll come up with fill colours tools. So it'll come up, you can get more if you want more. You've got that. You can get a bit more customizable. So if you want a green, click OK. When you've done that, you've picked a colour, you can tap on the shape and you can fill them up. You can do it with all different colours. So when you finish, go back to the arrow, you can move them about, you can do all sorts of different things. If you want to be really clever, select the object, go to this box here, fill effects, and you can do gradients, so you can do different styles. If you move the colour wheel, you can change everything. Horizontal, you can change all sorts. There's loads of different ways of doing fills. Patterns, you can do different patterns. If you want an image, you can browse an image off your computer and you can put them into the shapes. So if you, for instance, if you've got, I don't know if you would, but if you've got, for instance, on registers you might have a picture of the students from like, when they have like their, like that, and for the parents, and they can buy the photos. And sometimes they'll have the students on the register so that the teachers can figure out who's who. If you've done that and you have got them, you can put the image of into the shapes, and basically you can move them about. And it's like with the register thing. If you want to do the register and you already know your students well and everything, and you want to put maybe text with the picture, and you want to make sure they're in if they're in class or anything, you can move them about and say, so and so she isn't in or he isn't in today, but they are, and all that lot. You can customise them crazily. You really do a lot with Notebook. There's also features that near enough all versions of Notebook have. There's a little column at the side, so you've got your pages. It will normally show up just like that automatically, and you can do all that. But I've put auto hide. There's a little box at the corner, and it'll say auto hide. If you click on that, it gets rid of it when you are on this instead, so you have a bit more room. I like that. I use it a lot. So you've got that. You've got the pages. Then you've got this little section with a little photo frame or picture frame with a picture in it, and this is called your gallery. So your the gallery's been being used for many years now. The gallery is a place where you can embed pictures. You can put pictures, different activities, numbers, shapes, backgrounds, all sorts of things in it. And they used to have Flash activities sort of things in it, but Flash is no longer a thing anymore, so they don't work anymore. So if you've got an older version of Logic and you see like an F on some of those tools and you drag them in, they won't work. They'll need Flash, and they just won't work because Flash is no longer a thing. Flash Player is no longer a thing. So, so you click on Gallery Essentials. So you've got different categories. So on mine, I've got about 5,000 or 6,000 items in the gallery. It might be different depending how your IT technicians have set it up. Maybe they have taken some sort of some categories out, maybe for storage reasons, or I don't know. It might be different depending on what version you've got as well. So on here, I've got 4 different sections. You've got pictures, interactive and multimedia, notebook files and pages, and backgrounds and things. So we'll go through pictures first, actually. So you've got loads of different pictures that are all relevant to what could be anything. So if you want a car, you can have a car. You just drag it in, you've got a car. And if you want to get rid of it, you should get rid of it by delete, and you can go back and drag more. You can drag as many as you want. You can move them about. You can't rub them out because they're images and text or whatever, so you can't get rid of them by rubbing them out. So there's all your different. You've got tables. You've got all sorts. You've got flags, shapes. So you got hypotenuse. You got different things there that different labels and stuff. Got instruments. Got all sorts. You got paintings and everything. So you can just put them into your notebook page that will be relevant to whatever you're teaching. You can move them about, you can just turn them around, you can bounce them if you want to. But yeah, they're quite good if they're relevant. If you're doing a certain topic and it's worth to have a look, see what there is instead of going on the internet, because you can just drag and drop them. So next one, if we go back, We'll go back to Gallery Essentials. Get out there. You've got interactive and multimedia. So let me just turn my speakers on. Right, so they're on. Let's turn that up a bit more. So, interactive and multimedia. So, if you're in primary and you're learning words in reception or year 1, you can drag a word in. You can make them bigger, smaller, rotate. But the good thing is, if you want them to hear what the word says, you click this little speaker at the corner.
Bed.
And you'll say bed.
Bed. Bed.
There you go. And you can move them about. I made it tiny. Oops. You can check spelling, which I doubt you would want to do. And the good thing about this is, if you get a picture of a bed and you can add different activities and you can make little activities and games and stuff, which is really good. Definitely worth checking them out on the internet, on the YouTube, of how to, because what you can do is you can get a bed, or you can get words. Let's see if we've got one. I want to really try it. So we've got a bed. Pictures. A bed. Right? You got a bed. Right? You got a word. Let's get another word. A bee.
Bee. Bee.
Okay? Looks exactly the same as the other one. A bird.
Bird.
Right? So, if you go onto this, highlight them, go to this over here. Let me find it first. I don't know if I have it yet. Activity builder. There we go. So, if you highlight these, go to the activity builder, combine it, objects, right? Don't think, right, okay, so if you do that, make this object an activity object, yes. Okay, I don't think I have that. I don't think I have that that installed. But okay, forget it, sorry. So what you can do is you can make them go to certain. Actually, I don't think those will work. Let me have a look. Let me just get rid of those. Bear with. I know I said don't do it. Try and avoid going to your computer, but it's just easier this way. So if I do B, bed, what did I say? Fly. We'll do a snake. Right? Let's do that. Right. So I've got words. Right? You've got the image there. So if you go to the activity toolkit, so on items on a page, let me find out how that would work. Ah, right. Yeah. I don't have a smart subscription, so I've got the basic version. So yeah, what it will do is, if you've got a bed and you put words with where they are, if you have the activity toolkit, they will bounce back. So if you link them to the image, to the bed, if you put the words that aren't what the image is, so if, for instance, this is a bed, and you put B with the bed, it's not the right answer, is it? So it will bounce back to where it was, where it was originally. So if you put bed with bed, it'll do clap or swirl, and or it'll dissolve, and you know you've got it right. Obviously, I haven't got that feature installed because I have Smart Notebook Basic version. So there's different versions of Notebook. So the old versions, so if you're using 10 and 11, they're free. Notebook's free. You can download it as many times as you want. You don't need a product key. You just install it on your computer. You can use it for free. The newer versions, you need a product key. You need to make sure it's for the right version, and make sure that it still works, because Smart will deactivate the codes after a certain time. So yes, so you'll need to make sure that it works. But yeah, if you haven't got a notebook and you've got a SMARTBoard, 10 and 11 will work brilliantly for it. If you've got this version of the board. So yeah, if you want free software, you can use 10 and 11. So what can I do now? So you might be thinking, oh, but I don't want to use Notebook because I already use PowerPoint. So if that is the case, and or you might be thinking, oh, but I've already done PowerPoints, I don't really want to do it all over again. If that is the case and you have made a PowerPoint and you don't want to do it again, you don't have to. You don't have to at all. So if that's the case, you can go up to File and click Import. I don't want to save the changes. So if you go to your documents, wherever your PowerPoints are stored, if we scroll down, I'm going to use my PowerPoint of SMARTBoards. I've already shown it in my other tutorial. But I'm going to click Open, and it will say Convert As. So do you want to save it as a notebook pages with images, but you're unable to edit the pages, but they'll look the same as they did in the original document? Or you can do Smart Notebook pages with editable objects, so you can edit the pages, but they might not look exactly as they did in the original document. So you got two choices there. I'm not going to change it, so I'm going to click the first one and I'm going to click OK. So what it will do is it will convert the PowerPoint and put it into Notebook. So it will put into the format. So it'll do this box, and there you go, it loads it. So you've got all your pages from your PowerPoint. So if you want to do it as in like a slideshow view, you can just click up here and click full screen. There you go. You've got your PowerPoint on your board, in Notebook. It looks identical to PowerPoint, you wouldn't even notice. So, okay, so we'll go through it. So, yeah, what is an interactive whiteboard? A touch whiteboard that can be touched with finger, pen or eraser. The board is used in businesses, schools, etc. The board uses resistive technology to be able to use the board. So, how they are made is they have two layers in front and the back, right? You have to close the gap with purpose and effect. So basically when you close it, there's a little bit of air in the middle. When you push it and close it, that's how it works. So you don't be soft. If you like that, don't be soft, right? So it isn't going to do anything. Make sure you actually physically touch the board, right? Make sure, if you do it like that, it ain't going to work. So push down. It's solid. It's not going to break. So that's a good way. So next, so what comes with the board? 4 pens or 2 pens, depending on what board you've got. an eraser, and might not have a eraser depending what board you've got, or if you have a smart projector, a SMARTBoard cable and a bracket. If it is brand new, the SMARTBoard will come with the software as well in the box. Well, I don't know what the new boards do. They might come with digital download codes or something. I don't really know how it would work. I don't know. So there's your connections. Mine looks a bit different. This looks a bit different because obviously I've got a new board now. The cable will look different. The new boards nowadays just use a normal USB cable. That'll be like a little shaped D. It'll go it will connect onto the side of it, and it'll just go into your PC. That's my old one. Yeah, what's it called? USB to serial. That's the old style 500 series cable. So it'll look like a VGA. On the VGA end, it will go into the side of the board. Hopefully, you won't have to deal with that. And then it goes into the PC, the USB end. So yes, so you make sure you got the charger and your VGA or display, whatever display cable you use, USB, HDMI or VGA or display port, whatever. So yeah, you got all them. There's your pen tray. This looks a bit different, but yeah, that's the old 500 series. And there are your softwares. These are the three that are the most important. You've got Smart Ink, you've got your drivers, and then you've got your notebook. So how to get the board working? You must have the software installed to be able to use all of the functionality of your board. Yeah, how to get the board working. Green, yeah, we've gone through that. If it's red, it means there's some problem. If like the old boards, the old 500s, they'll be red if they're not connected properly. The old 500s don't flash. They don't flash green like the 600s do. So they'll be red. If they're red, it means that you either haven't got the software installed and it's not connected properly, or there's some sort of connection problem with the cable. So yes. If you haven't checked that video out, check it. You can check the last video I did a while ago if you have problems with the red, because sometimes it could be red if the Windows isn't detecting the drivers properly. Even if you have got the drivers on, excuse me, and you go to Connection Wizard and it doesn't connect up properly, and it still doesn't, and you have all of it done, and you've changed cables and stuff, you'll need to go through the drivers and stuff. But yeah, there's a video on that a while ago. So yes, we've done the calibration. Now you have a board working. So you go back. What can you do with a PowerPoint into notebook? It works exactly like a blank one would be. So you can write on it. You can do arrows and stuff and write all over it, and you can rub it all out and do circles and all sorts. You can slide you can do everything in it. You know, you can move things about. It's just a normal PowerPoint, but you can do all the things that notebook includes. So if you don't want to use notebook at all, you don't want to use it at all. You don't want to know about it. You don't want to use it. You're not interested in it. That is fine. People don't like it. Some people. So it's fine. No worries. So if we get out of it and we go back out, right, and we go open into PowerPoint. There you go. It's on here already. If we open PowerPoint. And you open the one that you want, and you go to full screen mode, a little box will appear on the PowerPoint. You got arrows, you got your exit screen, you got different tools as well. So yeah. So what can you do with this? You can get out of that. You can push the arrows and go through the PowerPoint. It does the animations. Does all of that. And you can still write on the PowerPoint. And you can rub out. So if you want to do, for instance, target, then you can do all that. You can go to the next slide, and it'll still be on there. So yeah, you can go through your PowerPoint with style. You can do it with style. You can do it in a bit of a more exciting, engaging way to get, to basically get your students engaged. But yeah, you can get out of it. You can touch the board like normal. You can do it with like a slide, like a page, like a book, and slide it. But it'll be a better way of just standing on the side and doing the arrows. You can use your keyboard if you want to, but yeah, I think that's about it, I think, for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I've kind of gone through the exciting, well, actually, good saying that. Get out of here. So if we're on the desktop, pick up a pen, you can write on a post-it note. Yeah, do all that. If you're on Google, on Edge, you can write on websites. Doesn't have to be applications or, you know, Microsoft applications or smart applications. You can write on anything. You can write over anything. You can write over PDFs. You can write over websites. If you've seen a bit of text and stuff on a website and you want to circle it and show the class what you're trying to say, you can do that with highlighter. You can get a highlighter with the go onto here and you click this button. You've got a highlighter. Do different thicknesses. So if you want to, you can do. And just like Notebook, you want a circle, you can do that as well. Exactly like Notebook. So there you go. I hope that is helpful. And thank you very much for watching. That is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next. I'm so sorry about not being able to do a video. I've been doing uni work. I tend to do more on Twitch now. I do get music streaming and stuff. I tend to do a lot of streaming now on Twitch. So yes, if you're interested in, yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So if you're interested in Twitch, go to Keza Games 2000 on Twitch. And that's where you'll find my streams. I tend to do them on Twitch now. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you another time. Thank you. Bye.